Are you looking for a top safari for 2025? You love photographing birds and really love big cats? Well then this is the safari for you. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Lance van der Pfeiffer and I am a wildlife photographer. I'm also a photographic guide and my main job is taking clients all around the world, teaching them photography and ensuring they capture that once-in-a-lifetime wildlife image. In this video, we're going to talk about an absolute must-do safari for all wildlife enthusiasts, and that is our Pantanal safari in Brazil. This safari is simply hard to beat when it comes to the amount of time taking images of these incredible big cats, as well as the number of birds you'll see in this destination. On our recent trip in August 2024, we managed to see 163 species of birds, as well as 22 species of mammals, and have 85 jaguar sightings. This included 31 individual jaguars. Now this safari is 11 days long, and you can find the full itinerary on our website in the link below. Our safari starts off in the small little town of Capybaras, where we overnight in a hotel ready to leave early in the morning. We get picked up by our Brazilian guide, in this case it was Tito, who is an absolute legend in the area, and then we start the long drive to the Pantanal. Now on our safaris, we don't go straight to the river on the first day, as it is a very long drive and you miss so much photographic opportunities on the way. As we leave the tarmac, we enter the Trans-Pantanal highway. Our final destination is right down the end of this road in Porto Jofre. But before that, we make sure we stop over for the first night at the Rio Claro Hotel. Now this area is a fantastic way to introduce yourself to the Pantanal. Our first safari here, we jump on a game drive and we go out in the afternoon looking for the very elusive giant anteater. We'll also stop to photograph many of the hundreds of species of birds that you can see in this amazing area. The following morning we jump on a boat ride and we go out looking for fishing birds. Here we can often see kingfishers, herons and collared hawks all fishing in the shallow rivers of Rio Claro. Now this little boat ride is a great way for our clients to get back in touch with their cameras, especially if they haven't used them for a while. Fishing birds are really hard to capture, but also incredibly rewarding if you manage to do so. After the short boat ride, we grab an amazing Brazilian breakfast before heading back onto the Trans-Mineira Highway all the way down to Santa Rosa, where we will spend the majority of our time on this trip. After arriving in Santa Rosa, we will head out for a short afternoon boat ride. If we're really lucky, we may even get to see our first jaguars. Now this area not only boasts amazing jaguar numbers, but is also home to awesome species like capybara, tapirs, caiman, and giant otters. We will spend the next 7 nights here, giving us 6 full days on the river, making the most of any photographic opportunities which come our way. Each day we will head out at around sunrise on our private boat looking for the best photos. Where we will be doing our boat rides consists of a number of small rivers. There is a central area which tends to be the busiest with jaguars, but it also tends to be the busiest with boats. We normally spend a few days here early in the safari getting a number of jaguar sightings under our belt before getting brave and pushing out upriver to look for our own sightings. Now we were incredibly lucky on our August 2024 trip to have 85 jaguar sightings. Our sightings not only varied in the duration of the sighting, but also in the level of excitement. Our shortest sighting was maybe around 10 seconds as a jaguar saw us and just walked up the bank and left us. And our longest sighting was about 4 hours where we waited for a big male jaguar to wake up and pose on the riverbank. We also spent many hours with jaguars which were hunting, and we were also incredibly lucky to see 3 different individuals who had cubs. Now one of the ultimate sightings that every photographer is looking for is a jaguar hunting. These cats are absolutely incredible and often launch themselves off the top of banks trying to jump on caiman or capybara which are in the water's edge. We got very lucky on our trip seeing 2.5 jaguar hunts. The first was an incredible male called Osado who has perfected the technique of snorkeling under the dirty water and popping up right in front of the caiman where they cannot see him coming. Our second kill we saw was a female who was walking along the bank, found a caiman in a small clump of trees and simply jumped on one, picked it up and then walked off. Our last half sighting we saw, we were sitting with a jaguar when a dead caiman happened to float around the river bend. She saw this thing coming from about 500 meters away, swam out and picked it up. Doesn't really count as a kill, but it was cool enough to watch. One of the most incredible animals to spend time with on these rivers is the giant otter. Now these giant otters are the most incredible hunters, and you almost cannot spend time with them without seeing them catch fish right in front of you. Sometimes they are tiny little fish, and others they are huge long anaconda eels which can be 5 foot long. Besides seeing them catch fish, we also saw them scent marking their territory, trying to sleep on very uncomfortable logs, as well as even chasing a jaguar. Now other photographic highlights from the boat are the many different species which come to drink from the river. This included tapirs, a tyra, and many species of birds as well as howler monkeys. There is very little time in between jaguar sightings where you're not looking at something absolutely incredible. Sometimes when it's hot and we need a stretch, we just get out onto the many beaches which line the rivers and take photos of the most amazing looking caiman. One of the most incredible animals we saw on this safari was a taira. Now this animal looks like a mix of a honey badger and a murder squirrel. It can run full speed up and down trees with its rotating wrists and often hunts birds and small mammals. To see one is incredibly rare, but to photograph one and have one pose as nicely as this one did was very special. For our last night, we leave Santa Rosa and we head back down towards the Mato Grosso. This is a fantastic area to do another afternoon game drive looking for the elusive anteater, as well as many other species like tapirs, anaconda, birds, and ocelots. We then have the option to spend our last morning also on a game drive or a small boat ride, as well as having the option to sleep in before our departure. Now this safari is fantastic for wildlife photographers, but there is a couple of limitations. Firstly, you do want a long telephoto lens with you. A 400mm would be the absolute minimum. You do sometimes get very close to the jaguars, but for the most part, the guides are very respectful and give each other and the animals space, meaning you're a little bit further away. I find a lens somewhere between 500 and 600mm being the sweet spot. 600mm being better if you're someone who really likes photographing birds. Now the other limitation of the safari is the heat. Brazil is an incredibly hot and humid destination. Often the days reach between 30 and 38 degrees and can have a very high humidity. Luckily our boat has a roof and we always have ice cold drinks in the cooler box with us. Now there are a number of reasons to choose our photo safari if you're looking to go to the Pantanal next year. Firstly is the guides. Now this area is a Portuguese speaking area and most of the guides on the river have very little English. Now we have partnered with a fantastic company who have all English speaking guides which not only keep you entertained but look for the best photographic opportunities possible. We also only take a maximum of 8 clients at a time, ensuring that the boat has lots of room for you and your photographic equipment. Lastly, if you are a beginner, intermediate or seasoned professional photographer, joining a photographic safari like this lets you enjoy this amazing area with incredible like-minded people. Not only this, but there's always something photography related to learn along the way. Now we have 2 safaris in 2025 to this amazing location. The first is the 27th of June to the 7th of July. The second is the 6th to the 16th of July. Book now to make sure you do not miss out on this incredible opportunity. Now, if these 2 sets of dates don't quite work for you, we can also offer this as a private safari for a small group or even individuals at a date that better suits your needs. Now, if you have any questions about this incredible destination, drop them in the comments below or send us an email at info@pantheraPhotosafaris.com and I will definitely get back to you. For now, sit back, relax, and enjoy the rest of the highlights from this year's incredible safari. And see you in the Pantanal.